Welcome kids and welcome to Arts Corner. I'm Sister Azra and I'm going to be sharing with you some fun and interesting art pieces that you can make that will inshallah remind you of important lessons that we can learn from the tragedy of Karbala. Today we're going to be making a picture of Zuljinah. Let's take a moment to think about why this might be a good idea. Let's cast our minds back to that tragic day of Ashura. Imam Hussain ﷺ is standing all alone on the battlefield. Everyone around him has been killed and there is nobody left to go out and fight against Yazid's army. He knows that his time has come. He mounts the horse Zuljinah, which was gifted to him from his grandfather, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He urges Zuljinah to move towards the battlefield, but Zuljinah doesn't move. Imam Hussain looks back and he sees Bibi Sakina clinging to Zuljinah's leg. She is so sad to see her father go. She knows that if he goes, then she will not see him again. Eventually, Zuljinah is able to take Imam Hussain into the battlefield, but when he reaches there, the enemy soldiers flee. They're so scared. They know that Imam Hussain will fight as bravely as a lion. Some of them felt that Imam Ali ﷺ himself had descended from the heavens to fight. Imam Hussain fought bravely, despite not having eaten or drunk any water for 3 days. But eventually he heard the call for Asr Salah, and for him Salah always came first. So he replaced the sword in the sheath and he began to pray. And that is when the enemy soldiers decided to attack, like cowards, knowing Imam Hussain was unable to defend himself. Zuljinah knew then that he had to return to the camp alone, injured. With his head bowed down, he began to walk back towards the tents. And when the ladies saw Zuljinah return in this state, they knew that Imam Hussain had gone, that they were now alone. They cried and the whole earth shook with sadness. They clung to Zuljinah. They were so happy and proud of the bravery of Imam Hussain, but they wept with fear, knowing what was still to come. This is something that we all think about throughout the days of Muharram. We think about the bravery that was displayed on that day of Ashura, but the fear that was felt as well. So we're going to make this picture today, so inshallah we can display it in our homes and learn these lessons and pray that we can be brave like that too. Let's look at what materials that we're going to need. First, we'll need a canvas. We'll also need some black card, size A4 is best. And I've printed out a picture of Zuljinah. You might have something like this at home already, or you can just find this online. And we're going to use the horse drawing here as a template. You'll also need some watercolours, a paintbrush and water, a marker to draw around the horse and some scissors to cut it out, and we'll need some glue. PVA is best so that it sticks really well to the canvas. So let's get started. I'm going to start by cutting out around the picture of Zuljinah that I have here. It doesn't really matter what size you use, as long as, of course, it's not bigger than the canvas that you're using. And remember kids, scissors are sharp, so you might need a grown-up to help you with this. Or if you're really little, then you can ask the grown-up to do it for you. Cut very carefully around the outline. And there you go, you have your template that you can use to draw around. So I'm going to just put it in the corner of my black card, because we're going to use the rest of it for making tents that we can also stick onto the canvas. So take your marker. It's best not to use black. You want to use a colour that's going to show so that you can see where you need to be cutting. I'm using a blue colour, so it's going to show up. So just trace around the template, holding it in place with your other hand. It's a little bit fiddly, so you can get somebody to help you if you need to. Don't worry if the shape is not exactly the same. As long as you have a rough outline, that's absolutely fine. And there we go. So take your scissors again, and we're going to just cut around this outline that we've drawn here. Nearly there. There we go. So eventually this is going to go into the corner like that. Next we need some tents. For this you can just simply draw some triangles, or you can draw some sides up as well for the bigger tents. Some smaller triangles. You can draw as many tents as you want. I've drawn 4. There you go. We're going to overlap them so then it looks like they're all close together. And then we've got a couple more tents to go in the background again, getting further and further away. Now before we stick those down, we're going to make a sort of a sunset orange background, which is going to just symbolize it was on fire. It was sunset, Sham Ghariba, the women and the children are all alone. Everyone is so sad, and there's so much intense fear as well amongst the camp of Imam Hussain, because they're not really sure who's going to protect them now. So we'll take these off and we're going to get our watercolours ready. Okay, so I'm going to use a mixture of red and yellow. You might have orange, and that's okay. You're just going to squeeze it on. So you've got some red right there. And some yellow. Then you can dip your paintbrush into the water and start painting away. So it's taking on a really deep, rich colour. Might need to add some more as you go along, and that's okay. I'm going to add a bit more yellow. So this really makes us think about how the enemy soldiers set the tents on fire. Everyone was so fearful, so scared, and they had no idea what on earth was going to happen next and who was going to look after them now that Imam Hussain had gone. So cover the whole canvas. I'm going to mix even more, slightly darker shade of yellow, just to make it a little bit more orange. There you go, and you've covered your whole canvas right there. Okay. So now we are ready to stick on the silhouettes of the horse, Zuljinah, and the tents. You're going to take your glue. We're using PVA glue here because it sticks better to the canvas. You don't need all that much. And we're going to spread it onto the back. So turn the silhouette that you've cut out over, and you can spread some glue on. We're going to stick this down into the corner at the bottom right there. Press it down to make sure that it sticks nicely, and then we're going to do the tents in the corner. So we'll take the smallest tent first so we can overlap the others, and again just glue the side and then flip it over and stick it down, starting from the corner at the top. And do the same for the other small triangle. And overlap like that. Take more glue. Stick it down like this. And then our final tent at the bottom. Like that. There we go. So we've got rows of tents in the background, and we've got Zuljinah, the silhouette, approaching the tents, and the background of the blood red sky. That's a really powerful picture, inshallah, to display, and a good talking point for our families as well. Do have a go at making these at home and share your pictures with us. You can tweet us at CABTV. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.